podcast for the hopeless
and the romantics.
My name's Katie.
And I'm Danielle.
And tonight is nighttime for us.
It's a late night recording.
A late
live
night
tonight with Katie and Danielle and their special guest, Jason Segel, I guess.
Yeah, you guys, Jason Segel's actually here right now recording this episode.
Sorry, I have to leave. I can't stay. Bye. Bye, Jason.
See ya. Thanks for hanging out.
Oh my God, he's so nice. So tall.
Yeah, gorge.
He's so tall.
Yeah, he's really tall.
Oh, look, here comes Emily Blunt. Oi, how are you? I'd love to stay and do the podcast, but I have to go.
Oh, no, it's okay, girl.
All right. Cheerio.
Thanks for coming
Bye,
over.
Emily.
See ya, Emily.
Sorry I didn't
God,
get
she's
gorgeous.
So beautiful. It's insane.
In person.
It's insane.
Those eyes in real life.
She's insane.
Oh, look. No, I'm kidding.
I was like, John Krasinski's here too.
Baby things, bye.
Oh, still
you guys are ECA reference, bye. You guys got a full show tonight. All the people showed up. Mm-hmm. Guess what we're doing today?
I don't know. What are we doing?
You guys didn't guess. You're doing it. Let's see how long you'll do it for. No.
That was it.
The 5-year engagement.
5-year engagement.
Engagement.
Not a word, but
I'm gonna name my first child Engagement.
What do you guys think about the name Daffodil? I want feedback. Can you guys
sound off in the comments?
Sound off in the comments. Do you think the name Daffodil is really cute? Because like you could call her them. You could call them Dilly or Daffy or Dill. I'm Daffodil. Now,
Fod.
Just FYI, if anyone else ever names their child that, I'll know that you stole it from this podcast episode. So please don't do that. But just sound off if you like the name.
I'm gonna call her Fod.
Fod.
F-O-D. It's in Daffodil.
Fine.
Yes, I love my new niece Fod.
No.
And you love her too.
No nieces coming anytime soon. Mm-hmm. Ladies and gentlemen.
Little do you know, I have something to tell you.
You're having my niece?
Yeah. I'm having my own niece.
You're having a niece?
You're with niece.
Okay, well, we didn't smoke crack today, although I'm sure it's hard for you to tell. We are doing the 5-year engagement. This is a star-studded, dude. This is a
It's fucking star-studded, dude.
It's so star-studded,
There's so many fucking stars. I could count constellations, bro. Bro.
For real.
I see, like, the Milky Way in this cast. Anyway, a lot of fun people in this movie. Mm-hmm. Comedy legends.
Yeah, and, like, for some reason, like, so Chris Pratt is in it, and, like, yeah, that's a controversial topic in 2021, but...
And Kevin Hart.
He looks like 7 years old in it.
He's an infant.
Like, we were like, was this before Parks and Recreation? But it's after.
Yeah.
But he looks so young.
I guess, like, during, but, like, yeah.
But, like, towards the end.
And, like, I don't recognize the way he looks in this movie from any of the seasons in Parks and Rec. So I wonder if it's, like, while they weren't filming, but I don't know.
I think he just looks really different with a shaved face.
True.
Some men look like complete infants when they don't have a beard.
Absolute babies.
Yeah.
They are children.
Mm-hmm.
I mean...
So we have him. We have, obviously, Jason Segel and Emily Blunt.
They just left, yeah.
Yeah, we're just hanging out with them.
Allison Brie.
Love her.
Literally every
So many people. Kevin Hart, Mindy Kaling.
Yeah. The guy who was just in Always Be My Maybe.
Yeah.
I can't think of his name, but...
So many great people. Really fun cast. I have a lot of thoughts.
Oh, yeah, Dakota Johnson.
Your girl Dakota.
I love Dakota Johnson. She's beautiful. She's a beautiful lady. For all my 50 Shades of Grey fans out there, listen.
Wait.
I'm not one.
We have to.
We're going to do
maybe
50
for
Shades of Grey.
Valentine's Day.
Yeah. We're going to do at least the first one.
Yeah.
It's going to be great. I hope you guys are looking forward to that one.
Yeah.
Because
that'll be fun.
we have
We will get drunk. We have to get drunk for that.
Ooh, that'll be fun
we have to
get
get
drunk too.
And record
Definitely
it drunk.
Valentine's Day then.
Really
But
fun.
we also should just do the movie Valentine's Day on Valentine's Day.
Oh. Well, we could just do it in February.
Yeah, true. Valentine's
month. Yeah. 5-year engagement.
Shall we get into it? Oh, also, thank you guys so much for letting us take a little break last week.
Oh, we so appreciated it.
Olivia? Is that her name, Olivia? The actress, Emily Blunt. Why did I say Olivia?
Olivia? I don't know.
It's a British name.
Is it?
Emily?
Her name is Violet in the movie.
Violet.
Violet.
You're turning violet.
Violet, you're turning violet.
But yeah, last week was just pretty chaotic for both of us. And we couldn't really find time to record. And,
I was becoming, shameless plug. I was becoming a Reiki master.
Yeah, we're so proud of Catherine.
Everybody, if you are interested in having a Reiki session with the one and only Katie, then sign up now on my website.
Not even a shameless plug, just very proud of you.
ChampagneSupernova.com.
Or you can find her on Instagram.
Find me on Instagram, Champagne Supernova.
Let a girl know.
DM me. Let me know. I am a Reiki master. Literally, I'm not just saying that. I am a Reiki master.
Master of
Reiki. And it's amazing and relaxing and healing and easy, right? You just lay there.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Lovely.
I was not in my body.
I'm the one doing all the work, baby.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You're just hanging out while you get a sound bath, baby.
Exactly. Love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
We're so proud of Catherine.
Thank you.
She was getting Reiki certified. I was vibing. I was just vibing in LA.
Also your birthday.
29 the sequel.
Danielle's birthday.
I turned 30. I'm turning, I just recently turned 30.
Danielle's 30.
And now
Flirty
my
and
stupid
thriving.
friends are having kids named Daffodil.
No, not now. Oh.
30, flirty and thriving. 30, dirty and dying. You never know.
There you go, baby.
Shall we get into it?
Let's get into it.
Personal stuff done. Thank you again. Got all we needed out of the way. And we're going to get into it. Let's get into it. Let's get into it.
Gorgeous.
Thank you.
We are getting into it. So, this movie, bit meandering. I'm just going to preface it by saying I really like the concept. But yeah, so it starts off.
It's really cute.
It's cute.
Yeah.
It's cute. It's a bit long.
It's 2 hours.
Yeah, it's 2 hours.
Yeah. And we passed on The Great Gatsby because it was too long. That was on me. That was on me, guys.
No, it's fine.
I had homework.
We're gonna do Gatsby next. Maybe.
Yeah, we're gonna do
like extra episodes.
Who knows?
But yeah, so this movie starts off with good old Jason Segel, whose character is named Tom. He is driving Violet, which is Emily Blunt, to his restaurant because he's going to propose to her. And she kind of like, doesn't she say something in the car like...
He's like not playing it off well. He is...
Sorry.
He is just like not smooth operator in this moment. He's just very...
Smooth operator. Okay.
He's just like sweating, talking really fast, doesn't know what he's doing, and Violet's like, what? Do you want to like pull over? Are you okay? What is going on? Tell me what's happening. And like he slams down the ring box in the car and was like, I was gonna propose to you tonight, and then I didn't. Or like not that I didn't, but like, you know, and you wanted to talk about it. And she's really thrilled and like thinks it's very sweet of him. And like they have to go to the restaurant and pretend Like he didn't just tell
like
her.
he didn't mess it up,
Mm-hmm.
which is cute.
Yeah.
They've been together for a year, and they got together at a superhero. You be your own superhero.
Yeah, create your own superhero. New Year's Eve party,
Which is cute.
Which is such a cute idea. I want to have a party like that. And Violet was dressed up as Princess Diana, which, yes, she's a superhero.
I love that when he asked her, like,
what's your superpower?
And she's like, Princess Diana doesn't need a superpower.
And she doesn't. No, I was so happy to hear that. I was so excited. And he's super bunny. So he's dressed up in like
a giant
full
bunny
onesie.
Costume. Yeah.
And they just like hit it off right away. Very fast to be getting engaged after just a year, but I mean, crazier things have happened.
Yeah, I personally, who have, a lot of fears and anxieties around long-term commitment, feel like a year is a short amount of time. But
I agree.
Maybe it's not. Who knows? I mean, I don't know.
Who knows? Do you know? Hey,
does anyone out there know if that's a short or a long amount of time?
Can someone tell us? I mean, it's probably not. I mean, I guess it just depends on where you're at in life and what you're doing. But they get to the restaurant. Chris Pratt is playing Tom's best friend. And I definitely know his name.
I don't know his name either. And every scene I wrote Chris Pratt in my notes.
Alex. His name is Alex.
What?
They probably say his name like twice.
Okay, what's the sister's name? Susie.
Alex and Susie.
So Alex, Chris Pratt, works with
Tom
at this restaurant.
Mm-hmm. And like he called out of work to do this whole dinner, and so he's like in the middle of like giving Violet this really beautiful like speech, like, I knew that they like are recounting the first time they met, and like it's so beautiful. It's overlooking the bay in San Francisco, and as he's like just about to ask if she'll marry him, his boss like comes running out, and she's like, "You fucking called off sick. Why are you here? You're sick."
I can't believe you lied to me.
And he's just telling her, like, I'm proposing. And then he does. And she says yes, and it's beautiful.
It's a really sweet moment. Like, the way
Fireworks
he proposes.
go off.
Yeah.
And, like, he's anxious about the ring, which I think is so sweet.
Oh, yeah. He's like, I was going to ask you, but then I realized I'm the person who's, like, supposed to know you best.
Mm-hmm.
And so
which is so true.
Right. And he was like, I know you like blood diamonds, but I didn't want to get you a blood diamond because I know, like, it's unethical. So I got you a ruby with diamonds around it, but it's vintage. And I feel like the practices of getting diamonds were better back in the day. Like,
yeah.
It was just such a sweet.
Yeah.
And he was like, if you don't like this, we can go to Tiffany's. I already have an appointment.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to keep this. And she's just like, I love it.
It's perfect. Yeah. And it's a really beautiful ring. I would love that kind of ring.
I shake my head and I would have been like, Tiffany's, please.
No. I would love it. The thing is, like, I feel like if someone for me, it's like putting the thought into the ring and knowing you thought that much about it.
What if it's ugly?
I don't wear jewelry anyway.
Would you wear it?
I don't know. It depends on what it looked. What's an ugly ring, though?
Maybe if my partner got me an ugly ring, I would be like, well,
I think, for me, it's like they thought that I would enjoy this ring and, like, I would love it. And, like, they put time, knowing they put time and thought into it, even if I don't like it, I still will I'll see that every time I look at it. You know what I mean?
And hopefully, like, I would be with somebody who would be, like, thinking, like,
and trying to
what
gauge.
would Katie want?
Yeah, trying to get, like clues earlier. Asking friends
who have literal photos of the rings that I would want.
I have a whole photo album dedicated to it.
On your phone.
On my own phone.
Anyway, interesting subject. Rings.
But it's like, it's a sweet moment. And so we see them beginning to plan the wedding. And, like, they have an engagement party. We, like, see all of Violet's family and Tom's family. And, like,
the engagement party is intense.
It's a bit intense, but it's like it's set at like a really beautiful place. And Violet's sister, Susie, played by Alison Brie, who does a really great accent.
British accent, yeah.
She sounds like Emily Blunt in this movie. Like, can't stop crying. She's just so happy for her, and she's like, I don't believe in the whole, like, marriage and having kids thing. And, yeah, it's just, like, pretty intense because, like, they do a good job of showing off, like, every family has its issues, essentially.
Mm-hmm. That's true. It's
yeah.
just, it's very, like, oh, okay, everyone's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So then the next morning as they're checking out, Tom's friend Alex is checking out with them. And they're like, oh, we didn't know you spent the night. And he's like, yeah, I did. And we see Susie, who is Allison Brie, Violet's sister, also checking out. And Alex goes, Susie, Violet's sister? Mm-hmm. And, like, very clearly, they slept together
They had a hookup, an engagement party hookup.
Wow, we love. And it's just this very weird moment, like, what the fuck, why? So then we see them, like, trying to plan the wedding, like...
And, there's this reoccurring theme of Violet checking the mail, and she's, mm-hmm. like, looking to see if she got this...
Berkeley job.
Is it... How...
She wants to be a professor.
So it's, like, a postdoctoral...
Yeah, I guess it's, like... You guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but, like, she's already been to, like, graduate school and everything, so she's going to get her doctorate, and that can lead into a job.
Yes.
And I guess that, like, yeah, that's what she was waiting to look for.
Yeah. And she wanted to get the job in Berkeley. Obviously, that's really near San Francisco, but she didn't get it. And then while she's planning the wedding, she basically gets a letter from University of Michigan, mm-hmm. and they have offered her this mm-hmm. position, and it's like a really big deal.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, her sister comes over.
Oh yeah.
And reveals to her that she is
pregante.
I was gonna say pregante.
Pregnant.
Pregners. You know that?
Yeah. or pergert.
Yeah. Preger.
Can get pregante.
Exactly.
Pregonanon.
Pregonanon. Does anyone know what we're talking about? Who cares?
A Luigi board?
So funny. But yeah, so she says, like, she's pregnant with Alex's baby. And then they get married.
So quickly.
Pretty much right away. Mm. And it's like this insanely beautiful ceremony. Yeah. And so obviously, Tom and Violet are kind of putting their wedding on hold.
Yeah.
And then obviously when she gets the Michigan letter, she's like, what if we
just put it off for a while
and go, like, and he actually suggests, like, let's go to Michigan. Like, I can quit my job. You can cook anywhere.
Because it's supposed to only be 2 years in Michigan.
Yeah. He's like, 2 years in our lifetime, that's nothing. It's a very seemingly selfless move, right? Mm-hmm. Because you're like, wow.
And Violet says in the beginning, my mom quit her job for my dad, and she always resented him. Please don't do this if you don't want to quit your job.
And that's also her reasoning for wanting to do it, too, because she's like, I don't want to resent him. I don't want to just have babies and, like, lose this opportunity just becoming a wife. Like, I love what I do, and I want to get to the place where I want to go. Mm-hmm. So he agrees. He says, like, no, I'm not going to resent you. Like, I want to do this move. He's very insistent on that. But
he goes to quit. Oh, sorry. Go on.
Oh no, go ahead.
He goes to quit his job, and his manager or boss is like, "I was just going to promote you to head chef at my new restaurant, but I mean, I guess get married if you want. Go live with your fiance." So
Sucks.
after that, they moved to Michigan, and Michigan's cold.
Michigan is cold. It's very much like because my sister lived in Michigan. Very similar to where I grew up, upstate New York. Like freezing for most of the year.
Yeah.
Freezing.
Yeah, Philly, I think we got all 4 seasons pretty equally. I mean, it always felt like summer was so fucking long, but now I live in a place where it's endless summer, which is like so cool for me because I love the summertime. I'm obsessed.
I know. It's been cool the last couple of days, though.
I know, don't you?
I've been obsessed. Like, my room has been an ice box, and I've been,
Ugh.
like, sleeping like a little cherub.
Little cherub.
I love how cold.
Little Michelangelo painting.
Yes, exactly. But anyway, so Michigan's cold, and also, you know, he kind of, I think, was being a little bit naive, thinking that there would be like a million good restaurants for him to be a sous chef at. So he basically ends up having to take a job like at a sandwich shop, which is cool. It's like a cool place, but like it's obviously not challenging or stimulating in the way that he enjoyed.
Yeah, he's used to like high stress, high intensity,
5-star
sous chef-ery.
And like the type of things he's cooking and creating. It's because that can be such a creative gig, but like.
And he also finds out his best friend Alex got his job.
And he's a much better, like, Tom is a much better chef.
Yeah.
So right away, you can already feel this tension mounting that maybe he made the wrong decision.
Yeah.
But he wants to continue to support
Violet. Because meanwhile, she's in school and, like, really learning and, like, honing what she wants to go to school for, which is psychology. Like, she wants to be a psychology professor. And, she's in this study with 3 other students and a professor who is from Wales. So, like, they have that in common. And, like, she's just really starting to feel like she's really working towards her goal.
She's happy.
Yeah.
She's thriving. And that makes it difficult, too. Because, you know, it's like, what do you do?
Yeah.
It is a really sticky situation.
Yeah.
But basically, they have to go back to San Francisco because her sister's baby's being born.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, Alex calls him out, and he's like, don't be a martyr, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you're not happy. Just say you're not happy. And he's like, I'm fine. I'm fine. He's very much in denial and doesn't want to express his feelings. And, you know, Alex is encouraging him to be honest, but he doesn't.
He's like, I'm a man. We don't talk about our feelings. Very that energy.
Yeah. When they get back to Michigan, I feel like things kind of quickly start to spiral for our friend Tom.
Meanwhile, Emily's getting told she could be staying longer because she does this really great job with this experiment, and she's getting told, like, we're going to extend your postdoc,
they kept saying. And I was like, yeah, I know what that is.
And so she has to tell him, and, like, clearly this is, like, it's going to be a couple more years.
He says, like, I can't remember what he says, but it's very sassy, like,
yeah,
great, good, I'm excited. And then he, like, walks out. And so it's not good. So after that point, he gets a disgusting looking facial.
Well, first she lets him, like, throw himself into planning the wedding again because they're like, let's get married.
Yeah. Oh, wait. That happened before.
Oh.
That happened when they first moved to Michigan.
Oh, yeah, because she could tell there was something off. And she's like, let's get married. And, like, he throws himself into this. Like, he's made 2 friends in Michigan.
Yeah, okay, wait. We kind of messed up the timeline here.
A little bit.
When they first go to Michigan, he says, like, I'll take over the wedding planning anyway because you're going to be busy. And she's like, are you sure? And he's like, yeah, you were doing it all before. You know, like, I'll do it this time. And so he takes over the wedding planning. At first, he's, like, really into that.
Yeah.
But then, because of all this, they have to postpone the wedding again.
Yeah.
So they postpone the wedding first because of her sister. Then they postpone the wedding again because of Michigan, and now they're postponing the wedding because she has to stay longer.
Yeah.
So after that happens, and they have to postpone, and he's really unhappy in Michigan, that's when he starts.
He spirals hard.
He starts hunting a lot because there's nothing else to do.
Yeah, it's Michigan.
And he is, like I said, the beard situation is really not cute.
Yeah, it's not like in a cute Bo Burnham way spiraling.
No. He's just clearly very, very unhappy.
Yeah, and so Violet's sister, Susie, and Alex come to visit. And, like...
Time is passing pretty fast, but, like, it's been a few years.
Yeah, it's been a couple years at this point. And...
Because the baby's, like, probably...
3.
Yeah, 3 or, yeah.
And so... They're clearly very happy. not very happy, but like
they're happy.
They're happy.
Yeah,
they like their lives. They
like their life. Yeah.
And Tom just like says like, I don't know that I ever want to have kids, which is like,
oh yeah, like at the table, he's like, I don't think I want kids anymore or whatever.
Which is like, I thought all of us have when we're really depressed, but like,
totally,
it's not like it's something that
it's not like a family dinner talk conversation.
Yeah, and it's something him and Violet had always said they wanted 50 kids and settled on 25.
Yeah.
And so Violet, I almost called her Emily. Violet offers to take care of Vanessa, who is Susie and Alex's child, for the night.
And Alex is at first like, I don't want to leave him here. I don't want to leave her here with him. He's like, he looks like a psychopath.
And he's like, I can hear you. I'm right here. And so Violet's like, we're going to watch Vanessa tonight so you can see how in love with kids you are. So they're watching Vanessa. And Violet has to leave for a second.
Like, literally a second. But if you've ever worked with kids, it just takes 1 second for those little fuckers to run off and get into some shit. 1 second. You turn your head, and they're gone.
Yeah, so she has to leave him alone with Vanessa for a second.
And it's so funny, because at first she's like, look at him. He's so cute playing Legos with her, or blocks, or whatever.
And so, while he's watching Vanessa by himself, he decides to watch a cat video on YouTube.
Like a 2-second long cat video.
And as Violet's coming back, he's like, oh my god, babe, you have to watch this video. And she's like, where's Vanessa? Vanessa's missing. So they go to find Vanessa, and she's standing at the helm of a crossbow.
Because he left his crossbow in the kitchen.
And she was like, why is there a crossbow out? And he was like, it's not going to clean itself. Like, stop being an idiot. Yeah. You're being obtuse.
Yeah.
So Vanessa's standing at the helm of a crossbow.
She goes, I'm Pocahontas.
And shoots it. And it goes right into Violet's leg.
Yeah.
And so she's very traumatized. Vanessa's very traumatized. And Alex and Susie are getting home right at this moment. And so everyone's just like, what is going on with you, Tom? Like,
and Alex lays into him. He's like, dude, what the fuck? Like, my kid just is like traumatized now because of this.
She thinks she killed her aunt.
Yeah, she like literally, there's blood all over. Like, she's never gonna be able to like forget this.
Yeah.
And like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, I feel like I don't know you anymore. Like, who are you?
Yeah.
And what you would hope would be a moment for him to like
realize, oh shit, I'm in a fucked up place. I should say something. He chooses not to.
Yeah.
And he's just like, sorry, I'm such a fuck up, essentially.
So then Violet is obviously starting to feel things are not going well, and she goes out to dinner, to a bar with her group that she's close with, including the professor.
Yeah. And Mindy Kaling.
And Mindy.
Love you.
We love you, Mindy. Mindy, if you're listening.
Mindy, if you're listening. You've done so much, and I'm so proud of you and your career. Like,
truly.
Anyway.
The office alone, baby. But then you just keep stacking it on.
You just keep going.
You're a genius.
Anyway.
Honestly, I could
Everyone
cry.
support Mindy.
I could cry. But yeah, so she gets very drunk. Violet gets very drunk, and you can tell from the get. And it's so funny, Danielle, because you clocked this. That professor.
Oh, immediately.
Gives very.
I sleep with students vibes.
Yeah. And they're older students that he works with.
Yeah, but it's still power dynamic.
It's fucked up.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, you can tell that it's like.
That's how he justifies it.
Yes. Like, they're adult women. Like, they make their own decisions. Yeah, it's totally that vibe.
Yeah. But you're still abusing your power, my guy.
And he is, like, obviously very brilliant and smart. And so, of course, that just helps him
It's, like, naturally attractive to people.
Exactly. So.
Because he's not even cute.
No, he's not. So they're at this bar, and they're both drunk. And basically, he kisses Violet.
And it's an annoying moment to kiss her because she's, like, kind of, like, venting.
She literally says to him, like, I just really need to talk about Tom and what's going on with Tom.
And he's like, I'll give you something to be surprised about or something like that. And kisses her. And it's like, you saw this moment of vulnerability and chose to use it to your advantage.
Yep. Yep, and then
I hate men.
Yeah, and then kind of blames her, which is super annoying.
Super gross, because he's like, we'll get into that part.
So, after that moment, Violet freaks out, and you can tell she's guilty, and she's like, what are we waiting for? We need to get married right now.
Yeah, she runs to Tom while he's at work. She's still very drunk, and she's like, why do we keep putting it off? Let's get married. And they plan a wedding in 2 weeks, and it's none of it are the things either of them want. Like, they're having, like,
an accordion player. It's at a barbecue restaurant.
Yeah. Like, everyone comes, and, like,
they're trying to convince themselves that, like, none of that matters, and it's just, we just need to get married. Mm-hmm. And, like, they're going along with it at first, but you can feel, like, as it's getting closer to the date, like, things are starting to, like, really derail.
Yeah, 100%.
So before the rehearsal, they're in bed, and Violet confesses to Tom that the professor kissed her. Mm-hmm. And he does not take it well.
Yeah.
He's like, I wish you wouldn't have told me that. Like,
yeah.
And so it's like a little bit like, I think it might be like the next night or something, but they're trying to have sex, and he is like, he just keeps picturing them kissing.
Yeah.
So they have a fight, and she's basically just like, just say that say you're unhappy, say anything. Like, you know, why don't you talk about anything? And he's just like, I fucking hate it here. I hate it here. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Like,
mm-hmm. She's like, whoa.
But it's like, thank God. And she's like, Tom, why didn't you say something before? And he's like, I don't talk about my feelings. Men don't talk about their feelings. I'm not going to cry about things. And it's just one of those moments where you realize you're dealing with a person who's just not emotionally mature.
Yeah.
And has been told there's a certain way for men to behave. Ugh. And I will say, though, my favorite scene is in this part, because they keep kind of arguing back and forth, and then they're laying there, and then he's just like, I think I need to be alone right now. And she's like, all right, I'll leave you alone. And then she, like, gets up and starts to walk out of the room, and he's like, where are you going? And she's like,
You just said you want to be alone.
He's like, why would you leave? Like, I don't want to be alone without you. Like, yeah. And she's like, all right, Tom, I don't know what you want. So then she gets in bed, and she's like sitting up, and then he's like, can you like lay down at least? And she's like,
okay.
All right. And then she says, Tom, and he's like, I'm really just trying to be alone right now. That is me.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I saw that being like, oh my God, why do I feel like my own heart is being...
Yeah.
Because I do feel like that. I'm like, what do you mean? Don't leave me alone right now just because I said I wanted to be alone. I don't want to be that alone.
I want to be alone, but I want to know you still want to be with me even when I'm alone.
How, you could just walk out of the room like that even though I told you to?
Even though I told you to? I'm upset. You're supposed to fight harder to make me not upset.
Oh, God.
It's so real.
This is me just like never wanting to be alone in general, but... I really loved that scene, because I do think that's a real thing, where it's just like...
I want to be alone, but I don't want to be alone.
But, like, also, you can't leave me.
Yeah.
So, anyway, after that is the rehearsal.
The rehearsal goes poorly.
Goes very badly. It's, like, an accordion player, and... Yeah.
And everyone's, like, in their speeches, like, it's finally happening. You're getting married. You only have to wait one more day. Just one more day.
And they look miserable.
They're both getting very drunk.
And yeah, so he gets extremely drunk, and he goes outside to like take a breather. Mm-hmm. And the professor,
who we don't even say.
Which he was gonna go to the wedding, but like obviously Tom was like, he's not coming anywhere near. So he's at the rehearsal, and like Jason is like, what? I mean, Tom is like, what the fuck are you doing here? And he's like, I just wanted to say, like, just whatever, trying to, like, justify. And
he's basically blaming her, though. Yeah.
And Tom is very drunk, and he's like, I'm gonna punch you. You better start running. So then there's, like, this insane...
The weirdest chase scene.
It's so weird. But, like, the best part is that, like, this guy, like...
Like, knows parkour and jujitsu. Like, are you fucking... He's jumping off the buildings and, like, rolling over cars.
Yeah, and Jason's like, what the fuck?
I had... Literally at the same time, Tom and I said, what the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah. So funny.
And so basically, the professor gets away. And Tom decides to be reckless.
He goes to a bar and there's this girl that he works with at the sandwich shop.
Yeah.
And she's like, let's go I have the keys to, like, the shop, let's go. And she's also very wasted.
Yeah.
And then, like, the weirdest scene that I don't feel was totally funny or necessary ensues, where they, like, throw
like, so
potato salad. And,
like, why? I can't.
Yeah, it's not sexy. I know
and,
that
like,
was the joke, but.
Usually food's only gross to me when, like, you're eating it and it comes out of your mouth, but, like, this was yucky.
Yeah, it wasn't fun to watch. Anyway, so he sleeps with her, and then he, like, wanders into the woods in the freezing
Winnie
cold.
the Pooh.
No pants on, butt out.
Yeah.
Just a coat. And wakes up in the morning frozen, basically.
Yep.
And his toe
has gangrene.
Is that what it is?
No, I think it's just frostbite.
It's frostbite, right? I was like, gangrene
is when
Jesus.
it's like wet and damp for a long time.
He got gangrene that quick.
But like frostbite is that gross too.
Frostbite is just frosty.
Horrid.
So literally he's in the hospital and
his toe gets removed.
They realize this is rock bottom.
Yeah, because he turns to Violet and says, I did something bad last night. And Violet says, yeah, your friend dropped off your pants at the hospital. I figured. And they're both, realizing this is it.
This has just gotten really dark.
Mm-hmm.
They're both unhappy. It's a sad breakup because
they both love each other so much still, but they know they have to go their separate ways.
I think they should have done long distance. Or taken a break while she was studying and see if they came back to each other.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I don't think they...
Long distance.
I think they should have tried long distance first before he moved. That's what I think. Because long distance does work for some
before
people.
he moved with her. Yeah, 100%.
Oh, yeah. I mean, from the get, I think they should have tried long distance.
Yeah, I agree.
And then, like, especially because they seem to have money, so they could have flown to see each other a lot.
So weird. He's like a sous chef and owns a house in San Francisco.
Well, I don't know if he owns a house, but...
When they were there, they were in a house.
But they might have rented.
Well, true. But still, rent's outrageous. The rent's too damn high.
Too damn high.
But, so they go their separate ways. Tom goes back to San Francisco. He becomes a sous chef at Alex's restaurant and is dating Dakota Johnson, who's like a 23-year-old and like very excitable. And Violet begins dating the professor. She stays in Michigan, dates the professor. He's clearly very much a control freak, and he admits that, but, like, to a weird degree.
He starts just, like, planning out their future, like, he's like, oh, we'll be on sabbatical for, like,
every 7 years we can go on sabbatical.
And go to the UK and stuff, and it's weird.
And then Tom and Dakota Johnson, she's, like, 23, so she has all this energy, and, like, the movie's very clearly written from the point of view of someone who's not 23.
Like a 40-year-old.
Yeah.
Like a 40-year-old
Jason. Man.
Yeah.
Who's like, this is what 23-year-olds are like. And like, she wants to have sex and party all the time. And so they're both in their respective relationships that aren't working out. And it's Violet's birthday. And she calls Tom, right? That's his name?
Yeah, we forgot about the donut thing.
Well, that's coming.
I know, but we forgot about it originally, but it's fine. We can
it
here.
So Violet calls Tom on her birthday and they talk. And, like, Tom discovers that, like, Violet kind of used, like, a psychological experiment on him to realize, like, that's when their relationship was over and know that that's when he was at his most depressed. And, like, he gets really pissed off and, like, hangs up the phone. But, like, clearly it's because, like, there's still love there.
Yeah. And it's because he knows that, like... Well, and I like what he says, which is, like... Because basically the psychological thing is, like, people who... There's, like, stale donuts. And it's, like... They tell the people in the room... These are stale. There's going to be new ones coming in a few minutes. Mm-hmm. And they test to see if people who eat the stale donuts. And there was like a similarity that these people are usually going through a hard time. Or they have like depression. Or they just gone through divorce. Like they have, they're like a little more what's the word? They use the word screwed up in the movie, but I don't like that. Stupid. Yeah.
They're a little more like maladaptive and like going through
something. That's things, what it should be. Yeah. They were going. The people who ate the stale donut were experiencing difficulties. Yeah. There you go. And so she was like, "You ate the stale donut," and he was like, "Maybe I ate the stale donut
because I like tasty treats."
And like because the whole thing is bullshit, and we should have like he basically equates it to like their entire situation, and you know. I think you can tell there's still stuff to work through there.
We see both of their respective relationships starting to crumble. Tom is realizing he's still in love with Violet, and Violet actually gets a position at the university and is told, like, you know, you're going to become an assistant professor.
With tenure. On track for tenure. Yeah. Which is a huge deal.
And she's so excited, and she realizes that means, like, one of her other classmates didn't get it, and he kind of suggests that she got it because she's dating the professor. And so she's upset and goes to talk to the professor about it, and she basically says, like, did I get this position because I was the most qualified, or because you want to keep me here? Which is, like, another aspect of control that's, like, really fucking freaky.
Right.
No, thank you. And he's dodging the question.
Yep.
And he basically says that another classmate was better than her, but she got the position anyway. And that's when she realizes, I can't be with this person.
Yep.
And Tom is realizing, I can't be with my person because she's not Violet and she's too young for me. And, like, Dakota Johnson goes on this whole rant.
Well, even before the breakup, he goes to dinner with his parents, and his parents are like, what are you doing? And his parents are kind of like, you should be with Violet. She's a great person. And he's like, well, we just weren't 100% right for each other. Yeah. And his mom is like, me and your father aren't even 90% right for each other. We're not even 60% right for each other, but we love each other. And so we figure it out. We make it work. We find a way to be happy. Like, basically telling him, get your head out of your ass. Violet's an amazing person. She's the best person for you. And, you know, you're just wasting your time with this other girl. And so then he goes to Dakota.
And she goes on this, like, vicious rant. And, like, because this is how 23-year-olds supposedly act. They, like, accuse anyone who's not 23 of being old and having saggy tits.
That was super annoying.
I was like, okay.
I didn't like that at all.
It's so weird. Like,
they're like in their early 30s. Yeah. Like, why would she act like he was dating like 100-year-old woman?
Yeah, that's the problem with like younger generations being written by older generations. But, so Violet, what does she come to? You know what happens? Violet's final grandparent dies. Throughout the movie, there's like this theme of like, her grandparents won't be alive long enough to see her get married, and that's the joke.
Yeah.
And like
throughout the movie, like there's these
cutscenes
to one, and then her second, and then her third grandparent dying.
Yeah.
And now it's the last one.
Her fourth and final grandparent dies, and Tom decides to go to the UK to support her, and you know they essentially.
She's like, "What are you doing here?"
Yeah. And he's just saying, like, she's the only one of your grandparents who was actually nice to me. And, you know, I realize this might be inappropriate, but I thought I'd just come to support you.
He even said, like, if you don't want to see me, I get it.
I'll go take a tour of the Tower.
Of London, yeah.
And they end up, like, kind of reconnecting. Like, they make out, have sex in her childhood bedroom.
They decide that, like, they'll
go for it for a couple weeks. Like, she'll
until she has to go back.
Yeah, because her job was starting in the fall. And so she was going to spend the rest of her summer with Tom. And, like, there's, like, a really nice montage of, like, her and Tom having, like, really beautiful moments together and, like, clearly reconnecting.
Yes.
And as the summer's coming to a close, Tom is driving Violet back to the airport.
Wait, before this, an important scene is that since Violet's in San Francisco, she goes to her sister's, you know, to hang out or whatever. And it's really funny because they're doing, like, Elmo and Cookie Monster voice the whole time. because like the little kids are there and they're like, Mom, she's like, Mom, do the Elmo voice. So she's like, Elmo. Like,
Yeah.
but the conversation is basically like, what are you doing? You should stay. Her sister's like, you should stay. You should be with Tom. And she's like, but I don't want to make the wrong decision and like eat the wrong cookie.
And Susie says like, I had plans for my life too, but I took a bite out of a cookie, meaning like she decided to have kids and be a stay-at-home mom and that she loves it.
And like it's not exactly what she imagined her life would be, but like she's happy.
Sometimes you just have to eat the cookie and hope
and
it's good.
And that's what she said. She was like, I don't want to eat the wrong cookie. And then the last thing that her sister says is like, you just have to take a bite out of one cookie. And I think that's so true. I love that metaphor because it's like, I kind of do the same thing where it's like you have this like idea of like what it's supposed to be like and how it's supposed to look and all these has to be perfect. It has to fit just right. But it's like, that's not real.
Yeah.
It's like you just have to dive in with someone and really try. And it might not be the right person, but like you're never going to know if you don't take that bite. Yeah. Take the leap with someone. So
and I think that's kind of like a wake-up call for Violet.
Yeah. So then he's driving her to the airport.
Yeah, then he's driving her to the airport. And Violet basically makes him pull over and proposes to him to get married again. And we see that Tom has the ring on him and was going to propose to her at the airport.
He was like, I was going to do this at the airport.
Which is so sweet.
It's really cute.
And like...
Oh, also, Tom, this is important. Tom quit his job and started his own...
Food truck.
So, because I think it's important to say that Tom's in a really good place now.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, he's been working on himself.
He's been working on himself the whole time that they were apart. Anyways. Yeah. So.
So, Violet's like, we have to go to this specific park right now. I just proposed to you. We're engaged. Just take us to this park. You'll see when we get there. And this is, like, my favorite scene of the whole movie. Like, so Violet set up a, like, surprise wedding for her and Tom at the park. And it's, like, each station, there's, like, different choices.
It's so cute.
And she just, like, rented them all out. Like, all right, first things first. Do you want a New Orleans jazz band, a string quartet? Do you want a Jewish, like, do you want...
a rabbi,
yeah,
a priest, you like
a Buddhist monk, or a
like
justice
of the peace. Yeah.
And so it's really cute. They do that for everything, like with the tuxedo, and like they finally get married.
They just get married right then and there. It's such a cute scene.
Their whole family is there. Mm-hmm. Like all the important people are there.
Yes.
And they get married, and it keeps flashing back to scenes of when they first met and fell in love, and like it's just it was a really beautiful ending to a long meandering movie. But it was 100% my favorite scene. It's shot so well.
It's really cute. Jinx. Yeah, so that's basically how it ends. They get married, and it's kind of... I just really liked how, like, even though the movie itself was, like, a lot, there was just, like, I think way too much that happened.
Yeah.
I liked the concept so much. And I do feel like a lot of couples fall into this, like... Especially nowadays, like, couples who get married, like, or who get engaged in their, like, late 20s, early 30s, and they're not in any rush to get married.
Yeah.
You can kind of fall into that, like, that long engagement. Yeah. And I just like the way that they showed that.
Yeah, because it's not something that's showed very often.
Yeah, I felt like it was
and if it is,
it's original...
always in, like, a really negative...
Yeah, I felt like it was a really original concept for a movie.
Yeah, so I guess there's only... one question to ask, Katie.
What is it?
How did this movie fuck you up?
I think, which we just talked about, but I think the Elmo Cookie Monster scene, and also like the way that Tom's mom talked to him. I feel like that's not talked about enough in romantic comedies specifically, that like I've been so fucked up my whole life, and I know I do a podcast about romantic comedies and I love them, but like the disclaimer and the thing that I think I want people to get from this too is like, there is no perfect person. There is no like 100% everything's right all the time. It feels this X way constantly. Like, I just think it's important to recognize that, like, that's just not how life is.
Yeah.
You know, life is messy and complicated and insane. And I think allowing yourself to just dive in and try with somebody, even if everything isn't
perfect in what you planned
yes. For. And then I think that's really like, I think that's the most beautiful thing anyone can do is just like try and really be vulnerable. And even if it ends badly or even if it hurts, it's like, it's worth it. And I liked that juxtaposition of her sister just like totally on everything was unplanned. The pregnancy, the person, the wedding, the life, but she's happy.
Yeah.
And so I think there's something to that too of just like being present and letting life throw at you what it's going to throw at you and finding the silver lining of all that stuff.
Yeah.
So that's how this movie fucked me up. Danielle.
Oh, wait.
I just was wondering how this movie possibly could have fucked you up.
I think y'all are going to know what I'm going to say. Because you know a bitch loves a grand gesture. Thank you, Katie and EJ, for my 30 things to do on my 30th. It was really cute and sweet. Grand gesture. I loved it. But the wedding scene, it's like she knew they were getting hung up on the details and like having to plan it just wasn't going to work for them. So she said, let me take this into my own hands. We're going to do this bap, 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 bap. And like, I think like, that's like my ideal wedding. Just being like this or this, this or this, this or this, go. And then it's done. And I think it was just like representative of how like they were feeling in the moment. And she just chose to like dive in. She took a bite of the cookie.
She bit the cookie.
I bet you want my cookie. Bet you thought I...
But yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and it was shot really beautifully. There's this one scene of them like running up to the altar with like the sun streaming in, and it's like really beautiful.
Says, she's like, "Oh, I'll meet you at the altar," and then he says, "I'm never letting go of this hand again." So then they walked down the aisle together.
Yeah, that line fucked me up.
Yeah,
that line fucked me up big time. Because like, isn't that all you want to hear from a partner? I'm never letting go of your hand again. Because I just want to hold it all the time. Because I love you so much. I hate it.
But I also think what I like about this movie, I'm coming up with another thing, is just that like a lot of times you don't see movies about couples who are already together falling back in love with each other, reconnecting. So I like that too, that aspect. 'Cause a lot of times it's like boy meets girl.
And like a lot of times, guys, we're recording this at night. You have to forgive me.
It is 10:52, bitch.
Oh my god. A lot of times it's like when you hear about breakups, the people break up and they never talk to each other again, you know?
Yes.
So it's nice to see them reconnect and like realize they still have all this love for each other.
They deeply love each other.
Ru-du-du-du-du. Give me the beat, boys, and free my little soul.
My little soul, fuck.
Yeah, so, did
they? Or didn't they? They did.
They did!
They did.
And the crowd goes wild.
And they could have not, but they did.
They could have not, but they did, babes. They absolutely fucking did. And, you know, it's not a movie I loved and I'm gonna watch all the time. It's cute. But, cute. Like, it's a bit long.
Yeah, it was... I love Jason so much, and so this is no...
Yeah.
You know, whatever. But, you know, coming after Forgetting Sarah Marshall, I feel like that movie was just perfect.
Yeah.
Like, chef's kiss, every single scene, perfect. And I feel like maybe there was an expectation that the 5-year engagement would have a similar feeling, and it's, like, totally different.
Completely different.
Yeah, but I really loved it, and yeah, it's definitely a cute movie. Again, I wouldn't put it down in the books or anything. Yeah. But worth a watch. All right, everyone. So thank you so much for listening to our podcast.
Thanks for stopping by, Emily Blunt.
Oh, yeah, Emily, Jace.
Jace.
Thank you so much for coming
Stanley
and hanging out. I know you didn't have time to do the interview, but we don't...
Oh, no worry, babes. We're so happy to have been here and supported you. We love the cast.
We don't need the cast. Oh,
That's what they call it over in UK.
Oh, yeah.
The cast.
The
Our
cast.
one British listener.
Oh, if you're listening, British listener, I love you. But I love you all, to be frank. And I'm grateful, and we are so happy that you're still listening. And
we love when you like and subscribe and review.
Rate.
And
all
interact with us on Instagram. That's always so fun.
It really
Send us messages.
It really feels so nice.
It's
so
really...
if you just feel like shooting us a message, you want someone to talk to, you want a new friend, just reach out.
Yeah.
We love it.
We love it. Thank you to Pearl for the use of our theme song.
Yes.
Very much appreciated. And I guess we'll just see y'all next week or talk to y'all or
whatever.
You'll listen to us.
You'll hear us talking
and
for
this
hours.
Episode won't deter you from listening next week.
No, never.
Never.
All
we
right.
love you.
Love you. Thank you.
Good night.
Bye.